Okay, welcome everybody to the Zoom call tonight. And, we're going to launch this for tomorrow. We just wanted to get people ready and prepared and kind of what to expect from the program. I've done this now, the Healthy Mind and Body, probably like 5 times. It's a 60-day. You log in every day, and every 5 times that I've done it, I hit it every single day. I just made the commitment. I said, look, if I'm going to travel, then I'll just get up earlier before I have to get to the airport, which means some days I had to get up at 2:30 in the morning to do that. And that was, when I committed to it, I just decided this is something I'm going to do. And so I'm going to play at that level again this time. I just signed up right before we started this Zoom. You go into your back office. In fact, I think the screen, let's see, might still be there. Yeah, so I just went into my back office under resources, go to Healthy Mind and Body, and then it has you pay. It's $39.95, and then when you complete it, they give you a $45 coupon. So they're actually paying you $5. And so when Rod was Kathy Coover's personal coach, and he was one of the top trainers for Tony Robbins, and then he just broke out on his own and put some things together the way that he saw them and that he envisioned. And he became Kathy Coover's coach when she first started Isagenix, and still is. And, so he's trained billionaires, we can say, and Isagenix millionaires as well. And when he was asked to put this program together, they getting a little bit of background noise. So if you want to keep yourself muted out, that'd be great. So I don't have to mute everybody. He got the program completed, went to Lake Tahoe and met with Jim Coover, Kathy's husband, and said, okay, I've got the program done. And just, let's go over the last details before we launch it. And, what do you want to charge your associates? And Jim Coover told Rod, I'm going to charge them $39.95. And then when they complete it, if they do all 60 days, then we'll give them a $45 coupon. And Rod, he said, I was paralyzed for a second. I'm thinking, this doesn't make sense. This is a $600-700 program. Like any online course that I've done, this would be like a $600 or $700 program. And you're going to pay them $5 to do it? I mean, you're going to charge them $39.95, and if they complete it, you're going to give them a $45 coupon? He said, I was just thinking in my mind, this doesn't make sense. And so he asked, let me see, I'm just going to mute this all out.
I got to go sit down.
Here.
Be careful.
Okay, there we go. I'll just check in with you guys when we're done. So he said this to Jim Coover, this doesn't make sense. And Jim Coover said 2 words. He said, all Jim said was 2 words, just watch. Meaning just watch what happens as we offer this program to associates in Isagenix. And what happened is, I don't know if I have the numbers written down on here. I might. No, there's another slide where I have them written down on the numbers of people that have taken the program and those that have completed. And the numbers were off the chart. It was like 9,000 people had enrolled into the program, and something like 8,500 or 8,000, somewhere around there, had actually completed it. And he said, these numbers are off the charts. You just don't see this. And he said, and he talked about this at Celebration in front of, 15,000 people. And he said, I had to really think about it and try and figure out why was it so different this time than any other time we've done an online program. And he came down to it's the people that Isagenix is attracting. Because you have Jim and Kathy Coover, who started this company on very, what I would say, divine intentions to bless other people's lives, no other reason, in 2 very important areas. And so it's attracting people who are like-minded. And he said, that's the only thing I can come down to, is that it's the level of people that Isagenix is attracting. And the program has been so successful that the NFL actually approached Rod, and I'm not sure exactly how all that was, but he talked about it from the stage. And he said they actually approached him to put together a similar program for athletes that were retiring from the NFL, because they retire and then they go broke. if they're not playing football and getting paid their big contracts, they're not making any money. And so they go back to become high school coaches and things like that. And so they wanted a program that would help them have the mindset to go on and live these incredible lives. So that's what we have here. That's what the Healthy Mind and Body is. And that was kind of how it came together and was the beginnings of it. And it's made a difference in my life. I reached my top fitness level because as you go through this, the goal is really to become a product of the product and to set some goals and really reach your best health and fitness levels that, are possible. And that's a pretty, there's pretty limitless possibilities with Isagenix and what we have and how we're supporting the human body. So really, I guess it's just, setting the goal and setting it high enough for yourself to actually push yourself beyond, and go for these things that are truly possible with our products. But with the products, you still have to address the psychology, the paradigms. And so I put together this PowerPoint just to kind of help people in the past with getting ready for the program and helping them to understand what it is. And I'm not going to tell you what to do as far as what you're going to set your goals around, but I do want to share with you how to do it, right? What's the mindset of going into a program like this? And so this is a slide, or this is an actual graphic that is in the program. And we talk about like hitting wall kicking moments or hitting a wall or plateauing in our business or feeling stuck. What's really happening, and after you go through this program, you'll change that language and you'll realize that it's deception, right? So before I go into these categories right here and kind of just preface, what you're about to go into so you can start getting mentally prepared, I want you to set the right goals for yourself. And what I want most for everybody is what I really want most for myself, and that is to be free, both physically and financially, and to create a dream life around your health and your fitness level, and also around your wealth. So I guess those would be two good areas to really think about when it comes to setting the goal. But with this program, it could be anything. It could be relationships. They're going to ask you questions and have you masterminding with the program on a daily basis with questions and that you type out answers to, and you're going to do that every day. And a lot of them are going to be, not a lot of them, some of them are going to be around the products, but there's still ways to use this program around anything that you want to conceive of over here in this inception stage for you, your family, for those that you love, for the impact that you want to make in the world. But for me, I'm going to do it around being my best that I can possibly conceive of. But I'm going to do it in two areas when I take this program this time. I'm going to do it with my body and with my business. I just kind of, my health and wellness and my fitness level. But really, I'm just going to put that under BB, body and business. So that's what I'm going to go into this and really conceive of or have this inception of the best that I can possibly come up with, with my imagination and the goals that I want to set around that. And what am I conceiving for myself? If I was to think, okay, 10 months from now, 6 months from now, where do I want to be? 5 years from now, whatever the case might be. So I want you to just come up with a goal. And then as you're going through the program, it's going to help you maintain the actions and the attitude. That's really what this program is designed to do. And so just real quickly here, inception is when you start to think, like when you're introduced to Isagenix, and whether it's because somebody got a result physically, you want to lose some extra weight, you want to get in shape, maybe you want to build a home-based business and you want that lifestyle of freedom that's being held out there for you. The very first stage is inception. And what he has right here is actions are high and your energy is high. It always is. Anytime you set the goal, think about people and if you've done this where you've set a goal for New Year's resolutions and to get back in shape, and how many people are at the gym the first month. Their actions, that means their actions are high and their energy is high. Their enthusiasm, their motivation, their attitude is like at the top because they just are in inception stage. And this is how it always works. And but your competency is you're incompetent. You're unconsciously incompetent. You don't have any competency. Otherwise, you would already be that person that you're conceiving of yourself to be. So this goes really deep, and they'll really what I want to explain it on a level that you'll really get it, and that in this short amount of time that we have, and really commit to play at 100%. Because what's going to happen, and I don't care if it's Kathy Coover and now she's a billionaire, if she wants to hit $1.5 billion, she's going to conceive of that, and her actions and her energy are going to be high, but her competency, she doesn't have it. She hasn't hit $1.5 billion yet. If she had the ability to do that, she would have already hit it, and the new goal would have been to hit $2 billion a year, right? So the very next stage after you have this inception is deception. And look what happens here. It happens to everybody. I don't care if it's you're just starting your Isagenix business and you want to make an extra $100 a week, or if you're Kathy Coover and you want to hit $1.5 billion as a company next year. The actions can go low if you don't understand deception, and 99% of people do not understand deception. They know some dynamics about it, but they don't know how to overcome it. 99%. So the actions go low and the energy goes low, and the competency is still low. You might have had some insight as to some things you need to do, but really mastering those things, you still, in the deception phase, you haven't done it. And you haven't done it long enough. You haven't been, the law of repetition, you haven't been repetitious enough to learn something, to gain a skill to where you start to have success with it. So like me with motocross, when I picked up motocross, I was falling down all over the place because I hadn't repetitiously done the practice enough to where I could go around the track without falling down. All right, so everybody's going to hit deception. And this is what takes most people out. And their actions go low, their energy goes low, they disappear. They go on the witness protection program. You try and get a hold of them, you can't find them, nobody knows where you're at, and you're not returning phone calls and texts, and you're not even showing up anymore. So that happens to a lot of people. They get taken out. And what happens for that particular person is they might kick themselves. They might be depressed about that and upset about it and, with themselves, but they get over that. And then they have another inception about something else. And they start that thing, their actions are high, their energy is high, but their competency isn't there. And as soon as they get started, a week, 2 weeks, it's different for everybody. It could be 3 weeks, it could be 2 months later, they hit deception. And if you do not know how to get through deception, you're not going to get to transformation. What most people do is they hamster wheel right here. They just keep starting over with something different. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be something different. They know that Isagenix is the thing, and so they're not quitting completely. Their actions and their energy goes low, but they haven't completely given up on it. They just stop showing up. But then all of a sudden they get motivated, get in, they have a new inception stage, and they just keep hamster wheeling. So it could be the same company over and over, but you get to a certain point, and then you plateau out, and your actions and your energy go down. Now, they don't have to. You can learn how to go into transformation where your actions will stay high and your energy stays high and your competency starts to go high. A lot of people start to have fear at transformation because it's going to change the results in their life. They're going to start having new friends. They might be starting to let go of some of the old and stepping into the new. And sometimes that scares people. In fact, Rod Harrison says a lot of people turn back from transformation. And so most people are going to hamster wheel right here between inception and deception. And then they get so tired of it, they get so sick and tired of failing that they just don't even inception anymore. They stop dreaming, they stop trying, and they settle for some kind of mediocrity, right? And the status quo. But that's not a life that's worth living, and that's hard as well, right? So transformation and keeping your energy high and your action high, it's not hard. I mean, you can choose your hard, right? It's really not hard when you understand it. It's not hard. Like learning how to walk is hard in the beginning, but then as soon as you gain the muscle and your understanding of gravity, it's not hard to obey the law of gravity, right? So it's the same way here in healthy mind and body. is the best program I've seen because it asks you to check in every day. When you're in inception, the biggest number one priority has to be to stay in inception. It has to be a daily thing that's at the forefront of your mind. It has to be your priority. That's why when you set the goal, you want to make sure that you're setting a goal around something that really fires you up. Like Wendy, and I want you to talk about this, when I get done here, about you found what your goal and what your passion is in Isagenix, and what that thing's going to be, what that thing that lights you up, and it's going to get you to, show up and keep your energy high and your action high, even when you're feeling the deception. So, and then getting into transformation, they walk you right through it on a daily basis. Again, it has to be a daily priority. You have to prioritize this. If you say, I'll get to it when I can, it'll get pushed aside and your habits are going to keep you right here. So this new inception, this new concept of yourself is going to challenge you to see if you really want it. It's got to be big enough. Steve Jobs talks about this on YouTube. In fact, I would go Google Steve Jobs on YouTube and your why. Put Steve Jobs and your why, and how he talks about anybody who's accomplished anything has had a why that was big enough to drive them. And so even when you understand the deception, your why still has to be big enough to get you into transformation. And then once you've done transformation long enough, you are now that person. You're now having the results that you conceived of over here of you having that you're not yet having in your life. Whether that's your best body, fitting into the clothes that you want to fit in, seeing the person literally in the mirror that you saw yourself in your mind being. That's what identity is. You actually have stepped into it because you've changed your behaviors. And behaviors are not easy to change. There's habits. And habits are a lot easier to it's just easier to just go ahead and live a life that's habitual than it is to change up those habits. So there's a lot of different categories that they'll expose to you of the language that you're going to be talking to yourself when you hit deception and what those habitual thoughts are. It's going to give you higher thoughts. It's going to give you better thoughts. It's going to give you empowering thoughts. But you got to check in every single day. Otherwise, the habits and your old identity will pull you back. So what you're going to do is you're going to move yourself forward up here in your personal development, in your ability to hit transformation and get into identity. And what happens is your physical world's going to follow along in tow right behind that. But it's got to happen up here first. So by you checking in every day with the healthy mind and body has everything to do with your business down here. This is just a mirror reflection of what's going on inside of you. So let me just give you an example of this with when I got into Isagenix. Let me just get right here. This is where my health was. But I want you to understand something. I never lost my mental image of who I was as the wrestler in high school. Fitness was like, that's what I was recognized as. That was just who I was. I was always at the gym. I always had the six pack. And that was my mental image. So even when I was right here, I would wear a shirt in the swimming pool and in the water at the beach. Why? Because this was not a representation of what I was in my brain, and I wasn't okay with that. So when I found Isagenix, I already had this inception in my head as my identity. Do you guys get that? I never lost the identity of who I was. It's just that the food wasn't working that I was putting in my body. So when the food showed up, I got over there very quickly. I got to the other side where I was here because I just needed the vehicle to get to where I was mentally. It's usually backwards for most people. It's usually you're here, you want to be here. Whoops, let me go back. You're here and you mentally want to be here, but it's not, you don't really believe it. You don't have the mental image. The mental image is this. And so when you get on the products that are going to enable you, because we've seen it, the products are not under the trial. If the products fell, it's because you didn't get through deception. You didn't buy into the new identity, which Healthy Mind and Body helps you to do that. It unfolds that process for you to where you stay in an inception, which is the same thing as staying in identity, which is what I was already at physically, just didn't have the vehicle, the right products. So for those of you that have this as your image, you're going to hit deception pretty quick. When you're on the treadmill at the gym, you're going to be having deception going through your mind, and you're going to have the language and the self-talk of deception. And that's when your energy and your actions will go low unless you have a more empowering self-dialogue that's going on inside your head. And that's what Healthy Mind and Body helps you do. It replaces the negative talk to match with what you're seeing over here, the new concept of yourself. And it does it better than anything I've seen. And there's so much, testimony around this. So here I was, and you can see this vague picture. I never lost that picture of who I was. So I didn't have any problem of getting from here over to here very quickly in identity. Now, when it comes to the money side, I had a lot of work to do. I had a lot of mental deception to overcome. And now that I want to hit 1.5 million a year, I'm hitting deception. And I've got to come up with new self-talk, right? But I understand the whole deception process now. So it's not taking me out of the game. My actions are as high as they've ever been, if not more. My energy is as high as it's ever been, if not more, in the middle of deception. And what most people do is they don't maintain that, though. They don't keep their belief off the charts when they're in deception. But because I know this enough, I do. And a lot of people who have learned and just become successful in this industry, a lot of them still don't even understand what deception is. They just know that they're going to keep doing the do. They're just going to push through that negative transition, and they're going to stay positive. But most people that haven't built that self-discipline, they just keep hamster wheeling right there. But it's better to know. And then you can lead other people. Once you know, then you can lead other people and help build that bridge across as a leader. So we're going to do a weekly call every Monday morning. It's going to be 8 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock California time, 7 o'clock a.m. every Monday, and 8 o'clock a.m. Mountain time, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. Every Monday morning, we're going to do a mastermind Zoom on this Zoom. So keep this link, and we're going to start it tomorrow, right? We'll do a Zoom call tomorrow and go into some masterminding about the first day. And then we'll go the whole week, and then we'll mastermind about what happened over the last week. And then you'll be partnering up too with accountability partners that you can check in with yourselves on a daily basis. All right? Because we want everybody to get over here. We want you to be living your best life. And this is a journey. It's not a sprint, you guys. This is not a sprint race. This is a marathon. This is you developing yourself, which is something you're going to take with you forever, for eternity. You're building up the person who you are being. And that's the thing that you get to always take with you. And trust me, and I promise you that you taking the time to develop that person to be the best that you can be right now and evolve, there's no regrets in that. There are absolutely no regrets. And it'll as you get over into this transformation and into the identity, you will be living an awesome life. You'll be living a blissful life. You'll be living a life that you'll be able to hold out for other people to follow your example. So, I just want to stop there. We'll go into some more mastermind about, things that you can do, techniques that I've learned and that others have learned to help us through this process. And we'll be masterminding about what we learn on the Monday call through the program. So Wendy, are you able, let me unmute you. Okay. You're right. Wendy.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, okay. So first of all, I'm so stoked about this whole program. And I think what I'm the most excited about is that I have been through, as a business owner, previous to network marketing, and then as being, having been in a network marketing company for a long time, and then kind of, finding my way, figuring out what else to do, and then finding Isogenics and being here again. It's been so interesting to me how little personal development comes from the company, and how usually when you get to that deception phase, everyone in corporate and throughout, training is just throwing more mechanics at you and more training at you and work harder and just stick with it. And, they're not talking about your mindset or, pulling yourself kind of out of your business for a minute and looking at your why and like looking up and going, okay, what, why am I doing this? And what's going to drive me forward? And so I'm just super psyched that Isagenix, because some of my team said, well, where's this training coming from? And who's doing this? And I'm like, this is coming from the company. Like, this is Isagenix Healthy Mind and Body program to help you to make sure that you make it through that valley, like Dave just showed us, and come up on the other side, or, help others, like you said, with the bridge. And so I'm really, really excited. And it's interesting because Dave told me about this right when I first came in. And I was probably in deception when you told me, Dave. No, just kidding. Kind of. But I was, trying to figure out what, kind of how I was going to build Isagenix and what was my story and what's my mission and how do I want to do this, and having done something like it before, but wanting to do it on a whole new level in such a bigger way. It's been really fun for me because I can see that over the last 4 months, I've gone through all of these things, even through the transformation and the difficulty and trying to figure out, okay, who am I? What am I going to do? And now I am really clear on where I'm going, what it's going to take, who I want to take with me, the path I want to run on, who I'm going to be in this company. But it took me working through this, and I can't wait to do it and go through it in the program, because I feel like I've done it myself in some ways, just because I have such a big why and so many big reasons that I'm not quitting. Like I'm all the way in, and I'm, going for it as hard as I can. So, but I just love this. I think this is going to be really fun for those people that are on the call that are in my team or know me. We've had so many of you guys that are literally just like looking at huge goals, and I know that they can all be accomplished. Like, I have complete faith in the system. Anyway, I'm just super excited, Dave. I think this is going to be really, really awesome, and that you'll coach us through it and mentor us through it, and that we'll have accountability partners and all of that. I hope that every single person that, listens to the recording or is on this call will jump in and do it, because I think there's huge power in all of us doing it at the same time. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. I think this is going to be super great.
Yeah, one of the things that we were talking about the other day was most companies just say, okay, do more strategy, do more actions, without working on what's going on in their head while they're doing those actions, right? And so what happens is most people start analyzing within their own head, which just causes them to hamster wheel, because they haven't had the mentoring, they haven't had the life experiences to where they have that stick-to-itiveness when the going gets tough, right? And so that whole stick-to-itiveness has a lot of casualties to it. And what Isagenix does is it helps the person who's committed and who's going to do the program every day to become aware of the self-sabotaging behaviors. Now, again, you really have to set that why. You just have to say, you know what, this is really exciting. And what's, to me, the most exciting about it is that as you're going through this program, people are going to see you changing. People that are close to you are going to see that growth in you. And a lot of them will be inspired, but a lot of them are just going to be there with their jaw open, in awe, and just be like, wow, you're really changing. And they're going to notice that change in you. That's what this type of program has. I mean, we're talking 60 days without missing. So I would recommend getting up and doing it in the morning before everything else starts. You're just going to have to get up earlier and push yourself. But after you're done with the 60 days, there won't be any regrets for doing that. What would be the regret is giving into, I'm tired today, I'm not going to get up and do it today. Because 60 days is going to come no matter what. And just think of all the possibilities that happens because you committed and you did it every single day. And so I'm excited for the leaders that are going to come out of this and the growth that you're going to have, and the people that are going to watch that growth around you. This is going to be awesome. So I just want to check in with Malcolm, because Malcolm's done this. And what I would like to do too is also have Rod do an actual top 50 event. And we'll see if we could maybe set that up down here in St. George. The wintertime, it'd be great to come down here and have a good 3-day event with Rod Harrison personally. So I know he would do that if I asked him to. It just matters scheduling it in. But we'll talk more about that as we go through the weeks. But Malcolm, what's your 2 cents that you want to throw in here before we end the call? Are you unmuted? Let me unmute you. Hang on. Okay, there you
There
go.
we go. Okay. I'm so glad Wendy mentioned the nose to the grindstone. Just call more people. Just talk to more people. And my personal experience is I am Mr. Nose to the grindstone. Is my nose a little flat? Is it kind of flat there? Because I did that for a long time. And for the miracles to happen, all of that internal work has to go on. Okay, no matter what. And I was flabbergasted that the company was going to pay me $5 to do a $700 program. Think about that. That's what Jim Coover, he recognizes how important this is and what an unbelievable investment it would be for that Isagenix could make in Malcolm Hunt. Okay, that's amazing. I mean, and in my previous company, the corporate guys, they just didn't get it. They had the same mindset as you had at the dealership. I just need to make the service manager happy. Okay, and you know, that's what they're thinking. Is they're not thinking about creating something and creating a business out of nothing. That's what we're doing. Okay, that's what Steve Jobs did. Okay, it's a mini version of Steve Jobs. Was he a dreamer or what? I mean, did he know how to deal with this? Absolutely. He was fired from Apple. How's that for deception?
Yeah.
You know, yeah, they take his company away, and he has to fight his way back in. I mean, that's deception, and those hurdles come. And I just thought this is perfect because I'm kind of hovering now at 2-star, and it's time for 3-star. And
Yeah.
I thought, as soon as I heard that, I thought, okay, that's ideal.
It's time. Yeah.
I'm in. Yeah. I just
Well,
expected
Malcolm, you know what you're talking about. I mean, you've been in the industry for 28 years. I mean, you $5 million income earner in your last company.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what it takes, right? And and deception can hit anybody at any time. Nobody's like immune to it, right? So this is going to be awesome, you guys.
Yeah.
So let's commit to it. Sign up tonight. Be ready tomorrow. Let's do this Zoom tomorrow at 8 a.m. Mountain Time. And I don't know, somebody's asking how long that Zoom will go. We'll record it. And I don't know how long ago. We'll mastermind it and we'll open it up to questions. And if people are having in the moment of deception, we'll coach through it right there on that mastermind call. And Carrie's on being on that as well. So it's going to be an exciting ride, you guys. And we'll learn from other people's deception. You watch.
We love talking people off the ledge, right, Dave?
Yeah.
We love talking people off the ledge.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know, what are you going to do?
Unmute everybody. I'm going to unmute everybody and just see if anybody has any questions and any clarification that needs to be made. So if you have any background noise, just mute yourself out, and let's just see if anybody has any questions. Okay, I unmuted you. Go ahead. And some of you are still muted out, so you might need to unmute yourself if you have a question. If not, we'll be done. I'll give you just a second in case you want to mute yourselves out.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Megan.
Hi. So will it be every Monday at 8 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
For just the
Thank
mastermind call. And then obviously the program's every day, right? So you guys are checking into the program every day.
you. Okay. Thank you.
I set my alarm at 7:30.
Yeah. And I would say the program for daily, depending on how much you get into it, you're probably 15 minutes to a half hour to do it. And a half hour would allow you to do it pretty thoroughly. And on some of the goal setting and things like that, that might carry over into the rest of the day, doing it and doing different things with that throughout the day. But you're probably looking 15 minutes minimum to do the Healthy Mind and Body on a daily basis. And they have some great videos on a lot of the days. So it's a really powerful program. Curtis, I was going to say, my son Curtis in working sales, he has some people who sign up for Isagenix just to take this program. They're not even ordering any products. It's for their personal growth as a salesperson. And he's actually signed people up with an Isagenix membership, and then they did the program. There's Rod actually mentioned somebody else doing that, where they've signed up over 200 people, taking a $700 program for $39.95 and their membership, and they're not even using products. What do you think is going to happen as they get sold on the whole program with Rod? A lot of those will convert to Isagenix associates and start using products. So, but it's another great way to market this and work with high-level people that are highly motivated. Tell them you got a $700 program that they can do for $39.95 plus their membership. All right, Wendy, any last thing before we check out here? And I will try unmuting you just in case. You're unmuted.
Hey, no, I'm just so excited. I think this is so awesome. Like I said just earlier, I can't believe that. I mean, I can, because every time I turn around, Isagenix is like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how awesome that is. So this is just another part of it where they are investing in us, and I'm just really excited to see the results of it. And so I love what Malcolm said. He's floating around 2-star. He's ready to go to 3-star. I'm ready to go to 2-star, Malcolm. So let's do this.
All right. Let's see what we can do in 60 days. Let's see if Malcolm could hit 3-star in 60 days and Wendy 2-star in 60 days.
Yes, let's do it. That's my goal. So that's awesome. Welcome.
We'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye, everyone.
Tomorrow at 8. Bye-bye.